Good morning and welcome to our show. Today we are discussing a question that many of us have probably asked ourselves. What is the most effective way to make a positive impact in the world? Is it better to volunteer our time and give our personal energy to a cause, or is it better to donate money? To help us explore this topic, we have two guests with us today. Tom is a passionate community organizer who believes in the power of volunteering. And Maria is a practical analyst for a large nonprofit organization who argues for the strategic importance of financial donations. Welcome to you both. Tom, let's start with you. Please tell us why you believe volunteering is the best way to contribute.
Thank you, Sarah. I'd like to start with a short story. Last spring, I volunteered at a community garden project that was created to grow fresh vegetables for local families. I'm not an expert gardener, but I spent my Saturdays digging, planting, and watering alongside people from my neighborhood. The most amazing thing happened. We didn't just grow vegetables, we grew friendships. We talked, we learned from each other, and we built a real sense of community. When you volunteer, you give something that money can't buy. Yourself. You give your time, your skills, and your heart. This is something everyone can do. You might not have extra money to donate, but you probably have an hour you can give. You might have a skill, like being organized or being a good listener, that a charity desperately needs. This human connection is incredibly powerful. It benefits the person receiving help because they feel seen and supported by another human being. And it benefits the volunteer because it connects you directly to the problem you are trying to solve. You see the impact of your work with your own eyes. When you volunteer, you are not just helping. You are participating. You are building a stronger, more connected society from the ground up. It helps you understand social issues on a much deeper level than just reading about them. That personal experience is a powerful force for good, and it's why I believe giving your time is the most meaningful gift of all.
Thank you, Tom, for that passionate perspective. Maria, let's turn to you. You believe that donating money is the more effective choice. Please explain your view.
Thank you, Sarah. And Tom, I completely respect the good intentions and the personal value that comes from volunteering. It is certainly an important part of a healthy community. However, when we talk about creating the biggest possible impact, we need to think about efficiency and scale. This is where financial donations are superior. Charities and nonprofit organizations are like any other large operation. They need resources to function effectively. Money is the fuel that runs the engine of change. Financial donations allow an organization to be strategic. We can buy exactly what we need, when we need it, and often at a much lower cost. For example, because we buy in bulk, we have strong relationships with suppliers. We can purchase food, medicine, or school supplies for a fraction of the price a normal consumer would pay. Let me give you a clear example. A volunteer can spend their afternoon buying groceries and cooking one nice meal for a family in need. That is a wonderful thing to do. But a $10 donation might allow our organization to buy enough wholesale ingredients to cook 10 meals. The impact is multiplied tenfold. Furthermore, donations fund the essential infrastructure that is often invisible but absolutely necessary. This includes the salaries for expert staff, people like doctors, social workers, and project managers who have the professional skills to create long-term solutions. It pays for rent for safe facilities, for transportation to deliver aid to remote areas, and for the technology needed to manage large-scale projects. While volunteering provides a personal touch, money empowers organizations to build sustainable, effective systems that help not just one person, but thousands. It allows us to address the root of a problem, not just its symptoms.
Thank you, Maria. You raise a strong point about efficiency and strategic impact. Tom, I want to come back to you with a question. How can the work of individual volunteers, as meaningful as it is, truly match the scale and professional planning that a well-funded organization can achieve?
That's a very fair question, Sarah. And I want to be clear, I am not against donating money. Maria is right that funding is incredibly important. My point is that it's not a competition between money and people. The two should work together. In fact, most large-scale projects absolutely depend on volunteers to be successful. An organization can use donations to buy thousands of emergency kits, but they still need volunteers to pack those kits and distribute them to people after a natural disaster. You can fund a massive tree planting project, but you need hundreds of volunteers on the ground to actually plant the trees. Money provides the tools, but volunteers provide the power to use those tools effectively. So one is not better than the other. They are two sides of the same coin. Also, volunteering creates a powerful ripple effect that a quiet donation often doesn't. When someone volunteers, they talk about their experience with friends and family. They post about it on social media. This raises public awareness and inspires other people to get involved, creating a wave of support for the cause. This public engagement can lead to more donations and more political support over time. It makes the cause visible and urgent. Finally, volunteers provide essential feedback. Because we are working directly with the community, we can see what is working and what is not. We can report back to the organization and help them adapt their strategy to better meet the real needs of the people. So, volunteers don't just provide labor, they provide intelligence, awareness, and a human connection that makes the entire operation more effective and responsive.
That's a very interesting perspective on how the two can work together. Thank you, Tom. Maria, let me ask you a question now. Tom speaks very passionately about the human connection. Is there a risk that simply donating money creates an emotional distance? Does it make the act of giving impersonal? And does it remove the giver from the difficult reality of the problem they are trying to help solve?
That is a common and important concern, Sarah. Nobody wants giving to feel like a cold, impersonal transaction. But I would frame it differently. I see donating not as a distant act, but as an act of trust. It is an act of trust in the experts and professionals who have dedicated their lives to solving these complex problems. I cannot personally perform surgery on a child in another country, but my donation can pay for a trained surgeon who can. I don't have the expertise to build a clean water system, but my donation can support a team of engineers who do. Giving money is a humble admission that someone else might be better equipped to do the work, and you are empowering them to do it. Modern charities also work very hard to close that emotional distance. We send our donors regular updates, with stories and photos from the field. We provide detailed impact reports that show exactly how their money was used and what was achieved. We want our donors to feel connected and to see themselves as our partners in the work. I also need to raise a sensitive but practical point. Sometimes unskilled volunteering can actually cost an organization time and money. If volunteers need to be trained, managed, and supervised, it takes a paid staff member away from their other important duties. Sometimes, the cost of managing the volunteers is higher than the value of the work they perform. It sounds harsh, but it's a reality we have to manage. Therefore, the ultimate goal must be the most effective outcome for the cause. While the personal satisfaction of volunteering is wonderful, financial support is often the most direct and powerful path to achieving that positive outcome for the largest number of people.
Thank you both for that excellent discussion. We are now moving to your closing statements. Tom, you have the floor first.
Thank you. My core message today is simple. Volunteering is about sharing our humanity. It is about recognizing that our most valuable asset is our time and our ability to connect with one another. When you help someone directly, you are sending a message that they matter, that they are not alone. This act builds bridges and strengthens the fabric of our communities in a way that nothing else can. The feeling of making a direct difference is profound, and it changes you for the better. So I encourage everyone listening, find a local cause you care about. It could be an animal shelter, a school, or a park. Offer just 1 hour of your time, and I promise you will feel the unique and powerful impact of your personal gift.
Thank you, Tom. And now, Maria, your final thoughts.
My central point is that donating money is about empowering effective, large-scale solutions. It is the most efficient way to turn your good intentions into real, measurable results for the greatest number of people. Your financial gift allows experts to do their best work. It builds systems, funds research, and provides critical resources that save and improve lives on a scale that individual action rarely can. Giving money is a strategic act of trust and a powerful investment in a better future. I urge your listeners to take some time to research a reputable charity that is working on a cause you believe in. Give what you can, whether it's a little or a lot, and know that your contribution will be used effectively to make the biggest possible impact.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, Maria, for sharing your insightful perspectives with us today. You have both given us a lot to think about. We've heard the case for the deep, personal impact of giving our time, and the case for the strategic, far-reaching power of giving our money. Perhaps the real answer is not choosing one over the other. The best choice may depend on our individual circumstances and the specific needs of the charity we want to support. The most important thing is the desire to help. Maybe the ideal solution is a blend of both, giving what money we can and what time we have. Thank you for listening.